massive thank you to Cal, Joseph, Dally, Harry and Stephen for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 6 of Season 5 of our F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Yes, this weekend we're back here in Miami, of course, once again returning to the USA. It's kind of a bit weird, of course, where we do USA near the start of the year and towards the end of the season, obviously Miami and COTA. It never feels like I'm particularly far away from doing a US Grand Prix inside F1 22. But if you missed out on the last video that went live late last week from Imola, I apologise, the videos have been a little bit all over the place at the moment. YouTube has decided now that sometimes when you upload a video it won't work. Now, for a lot of people that's not an issue, it takes like half an hour to upload a video. For me, one of these My Team videos takes 7 hours to upload. I have potato internet that many of you will be aware of, so if I randomly miss a day or something like that, it's because YouTube has decided it doesn't want to work. But championship-wise, though, Charles Leclerc still leads the way on 100 points. Of course, Imola last weekend, without spoiling too much, was an absolute disaster, just for both of our cars. So we want to try and return and get back to the front this weekend as we head to Miami there. Lando Norris P2, 15 points behind our teammate, but we're 29 back behind Lando here. 10 ahead of Mick Schumacher, who's been very consistent early on in the campaign as well. But yeah, let's do this thing though. Miami Grand Prix. Often a fun track. Hopefully we can prove that today. Right, well here we are then, Q3 from the Miami Grand Prix, and for those of you that only watch the My Team videos on the channel, first of all, go check out the Haas Road to Glory. We've got an incredible title battle going on with just 2 races to go of the season, but yeah, thought, you know, a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, you might notice that things are a little bit different around here. I've mentioned it in the Haas Road to Glory already, but yeah, now rocking a new rig that I'm going to do a full video on at some point in the very near future, and also new pedals at last, which certainly are hopefully going to improve my consistency on F1 22 as well. I'm going to try now and finally learn how to get good starts on this game. I probably also need to learn how to get a good line through that S section there, but that's a problem. Going and binning it on my first Q3 lap. We have been fastest in Q1 and Q2 up to now, but it has been changeable conditions. Q3 is the only one with full dry running. That has not done me any favours though, and it might now be a one-shot session. There we go, Charles Leclerc sets the pace on a 1:26.1. We are going to try and go for a second lap on this old set of tyres there, but Zhou Guanyu has not been as quick as I thought he would be through the final couple of turns, I can't lie. We are going to be tight on fuel, but we should have enough to go for it. We need about 10 seconds off that lap. Oh, Zhou Guanyu, come on. I knew I was starting a bit close to him on this lap, but oh, come on, mate. Get on with it. Really? Really? Just sit in the way, and then I'm sure he's going to drag race me down this back straight, isn't he? We'll try and get some slipstream. Charles Leclerc there is still fastest, so Zhou Guanyu has really cost me a lot of time on this lap. We are still doing alright though. Purple Sector 1, Purple Sector 2 somehow. But I'm sure we'll lose that. Oh, there's a huge lockup as well down at the final corner. Laps basically in the bin. Zhou Guanyu, I thought they were trying to still keep the nose on the inside. It's a benchmark, but it's not a particularly great one. We go P8 provisionally. Oh no, we might not have enough time. We might not have enough time here to go for our last run. No, 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 no. I was trying to tweak the setup and I wasn't really watching the clock. And through the final corner, I've completely bottled my qualifying here. Is that going to be P9? It's P9 on the grid for the Miami Grand Prix. I know we've got good pace in the car. That was definitely the possibility for our first pole position of the year. But we're starting way down the order.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Perez, Leclerc and Guanyu Zhou. With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Well, Sergio Perez taking Red Bull's first pole position of the year. 3 races in a row now. Audi 212 have not been starting from P1 there. 3 for us, 3 for every other team. Apparently is the way this is going to go. But Zhou Guanyu did improve that up into P3, 0.02 of a second behind our teammate. So it might not be plain sailing down at Audi at the moment. We need to try and recover some places though in the Grand Prix and finally outscore Charles Leclerc.
Formula One has arrived in the Sunshine State for spectacular sunsets, gentle breezes, warm waters, and for what will be a fantastic race day here at the Miami International Autodrome. With great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long, and expected average speeds of 138 miles an hour, the Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Guan Yu Zhou completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Oscar Piastri, Daniel Ricciardo, and Ocon. Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty, Gasly, Mr. Monaco, and Mick Schumacher. Stroll, Latifi, Valtteri Bottas, and Albon. Deruvala, Schwartzman, Kevin Magnussen, and Daniel Ticktum. Teo Pourchaire, Yuri Vips, Tsunoda, and Felipe Drugovich. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Right, here we are then. Miami Grand Prix, and looks like Charles Leclerc and I are gonna have to work together then to try and move our way up the roster today. Then both of us starting out of position, 9th place for myself. Charles Leclerc directly in front of me in P7. Softs to mediums is definitely. Apparently, I'm doing medium softs then. It must have had the selected strategy and the set strategy on the different options. That's okay. We can go mediums back to softs later on in the afternoon if it comes to it. But that does not do me any favours then, as we try and get some heat into the tyres on this formation lap. Like I said, I feel like we have got good pace around this venue today, but just could not quite get it hooked up in qualifying there. Honestly, a bit gutted that Zhou Guanyu has found himself starting right at the front of the field. But Lando Norris ended the Audi stronghold at the start of this year. Are we going to see another non-Audi win today? I mean, Charles Leclerc still, I'm sure, will fancy his chances starting from P7. We're on the alternate strategy. We've got to try and make an impact here today as well. As we line up on the grid, waiting for Felipe Drugovich in his Haskell to round out the order. And let's see what we can do. Of course, we'll probably be on the outside down at turn 1, so we just need to try and avoid trouble. Keep the front wing intact. Do not crash with Charlie Boy. Waiting on the grid then for 5 red lights here in Miami. Lights out, and away we go as we try and temper the wheel spin. Oh, no chance as we head down in towards turn 1 there. Big snap as we go through the second phase of the launch. We've lost a couple of places. Whoa! What on earth is going on with this car there as we head through turn 3? Trying not to squeeze Alex Albon all too tightly there in his Williams, but yeah, massive amounts of wheel spin as we try and put the power down there. We know just how slippery these first few corners can be around this Miami circuit, as Nicholas Latifi there just runs out a little bit wide through the next couple of corners. Looks like Charles Leclerc, though, has made no progress. This is Alpine Mercedes, as we head out onto the back straight there. Just nicked the wall accidentally, not looking where I'm going. And you can already see they're trying to get a run on the Canadian. A gap opens up down the inside, so we're certainly going to try and take it early on in this GP as well. Carl's very, very early on the brakes. My apologies to Pierre Gasly there. Just completely snagged the brake as we went through the next corner there. Unfortunately, I did do that last chassis upgrade, which changes completely the way the brakes work on F122, and it makes you a lot slower. I don't know why it's still a thing on this game. It has been since, I think, that F1 2020, maybe even earlier than that. But end of that one then, we are going to be back up to P9 there after a bit of an aggressive move on the Mercedes of Pierre there. Jumped 3 cars down at that corner, but we've just got to settle down into a rhythm throughout the long run in this afternoon. We're probably going to be taking these tyres to close to lap 20, I suppose, as Perez still leads the way. They're already building a gap over Zhou Guanyu, but Oscar Piastri, after running in the podium places early on at the Imola Sprint, he's up into P3 again. Oscar Piastri is just vibing in that Alpha Tauri, Pierre Gasly style. I see for the first time in a little while we have got very competitive top-end speed there, as Mick Schumacher will have a look. Oh, big! Of course, should I expect any different on this game? I'm not sure I should there. It was a big lunge, but we made it again pretty clear pretty early on that we were going for it there, and as Mick Schumacher will go. We had it slowed down at the apex. It's just the way these AI work on F122 does not lend itself to particularly brilliant racing from time to time, but up to 8th we go then. Charles Leclerc still unable to make progress in front of me. Could we try and put our jump on the current championship leader? Esteban Ocon, oh, a little bit of a lock-up down at the final corner there, and that just concertinas up all the cars behind him. The Frenchman will hang on to the position there, but a tiny bit of contact between myself and our teammate. I think we both got away with it, no damage done to either car rather luckily, but yeah, already starting to feel a little bit stuck in this train. Ricciardo just can't seem to find a way around the McLaren in front of him there. A Charles Leclerc, big moment through the next couple of turns there. Hats off to him for able to keep the car pointing in the right direction, but already I wonder, you know, those soft compound tyres don't always go particularly far around this venue. Of course, everyone will want to stretch them as far as sensibly they can, but maybe already we're starting to see the pace transfer over between those softs and our own medium compound tyres. We're going to try and see if we can get a run this time round on Charles down the back straight. And look at that top end speed we've got this time round. Charles Leclerc aware of it though. He's going to immediately go on the defensive. Oh no, he hits the Ferrari of Daniel Ricciardo there. I saw a load of carbon fibre go flying off the front wing of Charles Leclerc, and for a man that has pretty much been near enough perfect through the opening few races, of course, got taken out at Imola, to be completely honest. Not really a lot done there by a rogue Kevin Magnussen. I did get some redemption for him, though, come the end of the afternoon, but that's surely going to be Charlie Boy into the pits then at the end of this lap, looking for a new front wing. So now suddenly, not only have we jumped our teammate, but he's facing his own problems here in Miami. This now has got to be a golden opportunity for us to try and pull away from him in this GP and maybe close up some points in the championship there. As there we go, Charles Leclerc into the pits. That is a disaster. I've just suddenly realised as well, with Charles Leclerc way down the order, there could be a real possibility here that Lando Norris could leave the Miami Grand Prix leading the championship for himself and Ferrari. Of course, I think we've still got a big enough gap in the constructors that even if it went catastrophically for myself, was I don't know. We've accidentally gone round the outside of Ricciardo. I made that look easy, Mark, because I didn't know that's what I was doing. How have we just done that on Daniel Ricciardo, though? I can only guess he locked up slightly, ran a little bit wide without drifting out too far then, but round the outside of Ricciardo we go. I was actually trying to avoid him on the brakes there, because I thought I'd overshot it, but we'll take it. And next up then, if it isn't my old foe, Esteban Ocon, of course. If you guys remember back last season here, we had a titanic battle back when he was in his Alpine car, actually crashed into me and gave us some front wing damage later on in the day, but luckily we had enough to try and come through and still win that Grand Prix. It was actually through this very corner 12 months ago that we had that collision with Esteban Ocon there, and you can see just trying to throw him off his line ever so slightly. Esteban, come on, you've got to give me some room off the exit there. Esteban Ocon giving me enough a car's width of room and not a centimetre more there to go side by side down the back straight. DRS should make this one again another nice easy move early on in the GP, but you know what, Ocon not going to try and give up on it. We'll just squeeze him out on the exit, and we're now up at a P5 then, behind one of our big title rivals in Lando Norris. We've still got Zhou Guanyu though hanging on to P2, and Oscar Piastri still in P3. I have now finally closed to the back then of Lando Norris in this Grand Prix, and I'm intrigued to see how far the AI are going to go on these soft compound tyres, because they're certainly starting to struggle on them. I think it's safe to say they're trying to find 9th gear as we head down the back straight, but Lando Norris again will just about hang on, not quite going to be able to pull off the same move as I did on his teammate there as well. There we go, Oscar Piastri and Sergio Perez, the first ones to blink then in this GP, as we're actually going to get a good run on Lando Norris out of the final corner. To the outside will go. Lando Norris though will go very, very late on the brakes there, park it on the apex. We have to avoid him through the corner, but yeah, Perez is going on to those medium tyres then to the end of the Grand Prix. So we've got to get these for around the end of lap 18, lap 19 there. Not a fan of the etiquette by Lando Norris, but luckily we did avoid him. And Quickly back out though under the motorway and about to rejoin it here in Miami, lap 11 of 29. I'm going to guess we're going to see Lando Norris and Zhou Guanyu into the pit lane now. The outside of Lando Norris, of course, so weird. We've got Lando Norris in a Ferrari, Zhou Guanyu in a McLaren car there, but could always tell how aggressive Lando was going to try and defend that one, so I just thought we'll sit back, we'll let him have the corner there and try and get a good run off the exit. But into the lead we go then of the Miami Grand Prix. Now we've just got to sort of stay out here and do our own thing for quite a while. It's time for a few lonely laps, I think, in this race, as I think we were the only car, we can't have been the only car, surely, that started this race on medium tyres there. Perez still jumps back up into P2. I guess what we can really hope for is that, say we've got a safety car at the end of 17, end of 18, that could work quite nicely. As Charles Leclerc's pitting again. He was on hards. I don't know why the team are doing that, but Charles Leclerc then's afternoon is basically completely ruined. But yeah, Perez, 12 seconds back, we've got to monitor that gap. Okay. No, we can't just set fastest lap and immediately get that mark. Please, F122. We can't have 2 engine failures in a row and our third in 6. Surely not. This game cannot continue to do this to me. I get so worried it's going to happen in the Haas Road to Glory as well. F1, I don't know if there's gods in this game or what, but I am praying to them right now. Do not let me look behind. Yeah, of course. 2 races back to back. We cannot get a break in this series at the moment. I can't put it into words. I cannot put it into words at the moment just how bad my luck is on F122. Our 3rd power unit failure, and we're 6 races in to this season. When am I going to catch a break?
Done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Lando Norris takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Yuri Vips gets my vote today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, I said early on in that race that Lando Norris could leave the Miami Grand Prix in the lead of the championship. I didn't actually expect it to happen here. Sergio Perez takes the win in Miami, but the 2nd weekend in a row that Audi have failed to score points when are we going to get some luck in this series there? Lando Norris this weekend, you know, last time I only got very unlucky. This time round, he did completely screw himself. Kind of the opposite for us there, of course. Last weekend at Imola, we did absolutely screw ourselves late on in the afternoon there. But Zhou Guanyu comes through for P3. Oscar Piastri a bit gutted, to be honest, for him. They couldn't get the podium there ahead of Ocon and Pierre Gasly. Ricciardo, Stroll, Schumacher and Latifi rounding out our top 10 there, with race winner Sergio Perez's teammate in 11th. Two-time Formula 1 world champion Valtteri Bottas down in 11th there. No idea what to say about that there. We were the only car that didn't make it through to the checkered flag, and that means championship-wise, somehow we're still kicking around in P3 there. But Lando Norris now leads the way, despite having one win to his name, up against Charles Leclerc's 4 early on in the season there. Perez leapfrogs his way up into 5th, jumping Stroll and Ricciardo. Zhou Guanyu jumps Albon, Ocon jumps Bottas, and Piastri jumps Drugovic and Yuki Tsunoda there. Gasly as well, now ahead of Gian Laruvula. And with Latifi's points, it just means that Schwartzman and the Aston Martins are the only cars yet to score so far in this campaign. Constructors-wise, though, only a 17-point lead now at the top of the table, as Red Bull and McLaren both jump Williams there as well. But when am I going to catch a break on F1 22? Thank you guys all nonetheless, though, for sticking around and supporting the channel. We will be back with a vengeance next week. Of course, I hope as well, before I forget, that everyone enjoys Formula 1 finally back this weekend out in Bahrain. Let's hope that it's a better race for them than I seem to be getting. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.